This is the real life being in the real estate business, right? But this guy's a superstar, this YouTube superstar.
Yeah, he's a superstar.
Matt McKeever's everywhere. If the market is there, the market is there. Do it, right? If your payback period is relatively low, do it. If it pays an extra $100 or $200 or $50, right? You'll know your figures. Anything that you're doing, it's based on numbers, right? If you think you can do it and it makes sense, that payback period, then go ahead, right? We bought it at 10.35 million, and we're gonna sell it about almost 13 million. So we bought this building from Tricar. Tricar is a prominent southwestern London builder, and we bought it. This is the $8 million raise, right? So essentially, we bought this last year. We're gonna flip this out. We bought it from Tricar, and this is not something that we normally do. It's not a buy and hold, so we're flipping this building. We bought the entire building. It's already condominiumized, and we're just going to sell it out. It's essentially, we can see the value there. We bought it at 10.35 million, and we're going to sell it about almost 13 million. What we try to do is that when we're doing our analysis, it's not going to generate any money because we're buying at the top of the market. Most of these condos or an apartment building doesn't really make money on a monthly basis. So what we try to do is that if we see value in it, we're going to quickly sell it. Right? Yeah. And make that for us and our investors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that for. So what we try to do is that we try to find something that we can make money on, and for our investors, so we can quickly sell this. We sold 23 out of the 36 units within 1 year, and that's something that kind of. We thought we can sell it all, but we couldn't because the stress test really tightened up that market, and a lot of the home buyers couldn't purchase. Or couldn't qualify for that mortgage. So we'll come over and take a look at this unit. This is Chloe, number 4. She's the asset management. Come on in. Okay, go ahead and take a look. So it depends on the strategy, whatever people do. Some people can do a flip, fix and flip, fairly easy, one year in and out. We're doing this just on a larger scale. It doesn't mean anything different. It means it's just bigger. Small or big, that's the same thing, right? We can see value in it, and when Jed does the numbers, when we take a look at the building, there is inherent value in there. So we're gonna quickly, buy it and flip it out. So right now we're sitting on 13 units. Is that 13? Jed, 13?
13 or 14.
Yeah, 13 or 14 units that we're still sitting on that we're going to sell. So it comes springtime, hopefully the demand picks up and we can quickly sell. So what London is, if you don't know the London market, Wortley Village is it's a poshy area. It's an older neighborhood where you get some of the probably the wealthier class, or that want to stay in this little niche. It's almost like an oak. So we can see the value there. Now we just have to sell it and be able to execute that. Close to 2 hospitals, I believe. One down south, one up north. And I can't say half the building, but there's a lot of medical staff / we're getting actually tenants that are medical students in the residency as well. So taking a look at that. Again, you put up ghost ads to see if it's what type of clientele you're going to be getting, what type of prospective tenants that you can be marketing to, and then you would actually gauge that towards that group. So you can probably say, hey, perfect in your ads for medical students, residency. Close the door, everything is done for you, right?
So with a project like this, if you only put a few units up for sale at a time?
It depends. Like, I'm gonna leave that up to the real estate agent, somebody who's local, somebody who has that know-how. Yeah. I don't know what she wants to do because I'm not in that. So I rely on my expert agents to know that market and how to market it. So what we try to do is that worst case scenario is that you have to paint this entire one wall, right? The best case is probably just do this one patch, and if the paint is not that old, it usually blends okay, right? But that's what you do. You're not painting the entire wall. You're doing spot sections. You're doing sections, right? Likewise with a corner, something like that. Same thing. What we're trying to do is that you're not trying to overspend So in this section of, here's a closet, here's the bedroom, there's some slight work that needs to be done. Again, you don't want to be spending so much money and painting the entire unit. You don't need to. Just paint this section. It might be just from baseboards upwards, and then you just feather that in. Likewise with this. Worst case scenario, as I mentioned, you might paint this section of the wall and almost the entire wall, just so that it looks pleasing. It looks okay. But other than that, no, you're not going to be doing the entire section. And sometimes people would stage. One of my agents is going to be staging some of the units to sell. And when you do that, what you can do is that you find a local furniture company to see if they can actually put in their furniture. So I don't want to pay staging costs, whatever that is. It's about $1,500 to $2,000 each and every month. No, what you try to do is that you get them to put their furniture in it, and then you get them to advertise. So they always have older furniture that's maybe out of season, like last year's. Tell them to put it in. It's not going to cost them anything, but they have advertising, and sometimes they actually get a sale from that. So that too is a quick little nugget for you guys to know that you're not spending all that money. Hook up with some of the local furniture companies around the neighborhood, if it's near Worley Village, London, wherever it is. So she's a little bit loud, but it shows the real. This is the real life sort of daily thing of real estate, being in the real estate business, right?
And so you guys will put this back up for rent?
No, oh no.
Leave it vacant?
This is going to be for sale. So we're trying to sell. All the units that we have. We have 13 left.
Yeah. So if they come vacant, you're not renting?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like sometimes you have to manage cash flow, right? So sometimes you have to rent it out because you have to be able to carry that building too, right? So it depends. If your strategy, if you can hold, like if you can carry that, of course, you want to keep it empty. It shows nicer. But the problem here is that you're trying to manage everything. You're trying to manage cash flow. You're trying to manage the selling side of it with your agent. And sometimes they want vacant because it shows easier and shows faster, right? But that's a piece that you have. You're in this situation that you have to do everything all at once, right?
Yeah.
Good question.
And so for an apartment like this, what's it rent for?
This one would rent for, this is 2 bedrooms, $1,850. I put it up to $1,995. I got a few calls and I got people negotiating with me. And then I dropped it down to $1,850 for the 2 bedroom. I'm not sure what the London market is, but this is one of my clients, not one of my clients, they actually bought it. And then they turned around to me and said, hey, can you rent it out? And I said, yeah, I can rent it. I pay my cleaners $10 per showing. And you have to know your market. So if it's pushing 2,000 or if it's a little bit lower of 1,850, you may have to drop it down slightly, right? But always you're trying to push that envelope. You're trying to push it so that you can get the maximum rent, right? So again, 2 bedroom, it's almost 2,000. They pay all the utilities. It's all sub-metered here. Gas, hydro is on the tenants, and then water is on me as an owner, right? So let's let this little tenant in.
And so the people that are buying it, are they mainly buying it to live in?
Yeah. So if they're looking to live in it, you're going to get a higher price, right? If you're looking at investors, you're going to get a lower price. So they're going to have to try to cash flow, right? And it's going to be different for each project, right? Every project is going to have their inherent risk, their strategy, because we can't cash flow this. This is not a cash flowing property. New builds are not cash flowing projects, right? Mm-hmm. So know your market, know what you can get into, right?
And so was this for sale on the market or was it a private deal?
No. Jed, was it private?
When we bought it?
Yeah, private. I think only one private. Only one MLS, and that was Elgin. 28 Elgin Street was the only one that we got on MLS. So, yeah. You got a picture of her? Yeah. Yeah. His name is. Where's the rent?
Okay. I don't
But this guy's a superstar. This YouTube superstar.
Yeah, he's a superstar.
Matt McKeever's everywhere.
Well, everyone came up to me. I went to the right club last night, right? And everyone's just like, "You're the guy with Kasey, right?" And I'm like, yeah.
Who's the right club?
No. I'm with him, not he's with me. I'm with him.
It's like another type of rain type.
Oh, yeah.
Meetup group.
So when you go to these social groups, right, in these meetups, these networks, you're meeting operators. You want They want to do it themselves, right? I'm not meeting the accredited investor. That's what I'm looking for, is the accredited investor. Sometimes I do meet them, right? So I got 500,000 from Rain. Actually just Rain, because I don't have enough time because of these guys, right? I don't have enough time to network. And when I do network, it's probably in my circle of friends, right?
Yeah.
And I told you how I network. I'm not pushy. I'm not, because honestly, they're not looking at the projects, the investment. They're not looking at returns. They're looking at you. So you're selling yourself. They want to know who's behind this project, because regardless of the project, that person, the Adam Martin, the Matt McKeevers, that John Seguin, those are the guys that you're investing with. The Matt Pichets out there. They're gonna say, hey, who is this Matt Pichet? Does he know his stuff? He knows his stuff. I'm gonna invest with him, right? Regardless of the project, right? Same thing with me. If I'm finding the investors, they're gonna be looking at me, not the project. The project is good. They're gonna say, hey, does Kasey know his stuff, right? After that, they'll look at the project, make sure it makes sense, and then they'll delve deeper into the project, right? But this is not normal. I don't usually bring, like my wife she doesn't usually like this part of the business. She doesn't like going to the properties. She doesn't like dealing with the tenants. I love dealing with the tenants. She doesn't like dealing with rent collections, going to court, dealing with contractors. That's not her thing. She likes to deal with the accountants. She likes to deal with the lawyers, the deal makers, the agents, all of that, which I actually don't even like dealing with. I don't like dealing with the lawyers, right? I don't like dealing with the paperwork. She reads through everything. Like, she's very meticulous. If there's a legal document, she combs through it, right? And she goes, what's this section? I don't want to do that, right? Yeah. So different skill set. She's more of the visionary, right?
And really complements.
Yeah, I'm more of the integrator. So that's what I heard from Jose Shafarji, is that there's two people that's a good collaboration, is that somebody who has that vision of where the company's going, where you want to go. Like for me, I don't mind holding a property forever, for 20, 25 years or 30 years, and just cash flowing it. I'm very happy with just doing that and just going back to work, working for 20 hours a week, 20 hours a week, just being part-time. She likes to look at the properties and she'll look at the deals, and then she'll send me out, say, hey, go take a look at this property. Like a dog, say, hey, send the dogs out. But I'm the one that will go look at the properties, see if it makes a good fit for our strategy. Yeah. That property may not be a buy and hold. It may be a flip, buy and a flip, right? Yeah. But hey, this is good. It's like people see this, right? People, I got like, I told you, I'm more of like a hard person, but this is, family is like running around. I brought all my kids to all the properties, and what they say is that, Daddy, you just drive around, drink coffee all day. I literally, they think I don't do anything. I don't know what they say in that sort of the playground, because the parent, they'll say, oh, what does your dad do? What does your mom do? A lot of I guess their friends will say, oh, my dad's a cardiologist. My mom's a dentist or whatever, right? But yeah, I'm like,
real estate investor is hard to describe.
It's hard to describe. So Jed's actually at home, whatever, talking on the phone with people all day, and I don't do anything, right? But I think they can appreciate it later. They'll see what the fruits of labor is after. It is difficult.
The tuition.
Yeah. So all of our money goes to the kids' tuition, right? So I mentioned that they're in private school. I still drive a Honda Odyssey. So seriously, I don't see what we're doing,
you live
right?
a very modest lifestyle.
Yeah. So I live in a 3-bedroom bungalow for the last, since 2006, right? So 13 years, and I rent out my basement. I told you that. Yeah. Rent out my basement for almost $2,000 a month, right? In Toronto. So it's nothing like extravagant. I don't dress like GQ or right. I don't have a suit on. I don't drive. Yeah, I'm not like that, right? So, but to each their own. Like, there's nothing wrong with driving fancy cars. I would love to drive a fancy car, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you want to spend your money, like I won't judge somebody like that. You drive a fancy car. Yeah. And if that's how you're like, that's how you're like. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with buying $800 designer shoes. Nothing wrong with it. This is all I have time for. Sometimes things are loose and then you just need tightening, right? Because every home buyer would open a cabinet, right?
Yeah.
Did you just turn that on? Just do it, right? Because a lot of the contractors, sometimes they don't look at it, right?
Yeah. They're not very like detailed.
Yeah, they're in it for, to be honest with you, yeah, they're in it for just the money, right? Get the work done, get paid, get out. But you as a homeowner, as an investor, you'll be a little bit more detailed, more meticulous, know exactly what people are looking for. All homeowners or investors are going to open up doors, they're going to slam it, you're going to kick the tire, right? If you're buying a house or buying a car, they're always going to open up the fridge, regardless of it being tenanted or not. They're going to see how the people live, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure that it looks presentable, right? So if this is a building, a unit that you're going to be selling, you do what the potential buyers are going to do, right? So yeah, this girl wants some water. What was water? So know what you're getting into as an investor. Walk the building, right? Walk the buildings at night before you buy. Those, you know, I told you guys Friday nights to Saturday nights to see who's there. You have the drug dealers, the prostitution. Sometimes it's a rough neighborhood. You won't know it. Those are your softer analysis, right? Again, these are flips, right? This is a quartz countertop. Normally a quartz countertop will be a $32 to $45 a square foot, right? If you want to pay for it, just measure it out, right? So it's going to be a 3 feet by 7 feet. Whatever that is, multiply that out, times it by about, let's say $40 a square foot, and know what the price is. An undermount sink, and then when you're posting advertisement, post it. Post something that this is a ghost ad. You do a regular ad, and then you do something with granite, higher end finishes, stainless steel. Now you know if it warrants something higher. If the market is there, the market is there. Do it, right? If your payback period is relatively low, do it. If it pays an extra $100 or $200 or $50, right? You'll know your figures. Do you want your payback period to be 5 years, 7 years? If it's only 2 years, do it. If it's less than two and a half years, you're definitely going to do it, right? So know your budget. Like any kind of business, anything that you're doing, anything that you're doing, it's based on numbers, right? If you think you can do it and it makes sense, that payback period, then go ahead, right? But again, do your ads, do your analysis, the 5-year projection, know your rent. Your rent is going to be your ads, your market analysis. Then you'll have your 40%, depends on your location, right? Your locale, 40% is going to be on expenses. Then the other portion will be your debt, your mortgage, right? Your carrying costs on that. And then whatever's left over is just your cash flow. Be it positive, negative, or zero, right? So know your numbers. So when you're buying a condo, this is coming from a property manager, okay? There's always going to be one level that's a little bit lower. These are the crossover. Try not to buy on this level. All your pipes cross over, and whenever you have a flood, it's going to be on this level, okay? This doesn't have it, I think, but we'll take a look at the other levels. So that's one thing that you want to stay away from. So you walk the building and say, okay, well, on a 20-story, the 10th floor is lower. That's because all these pipes are being crossed over. Also, don't get too close to the elevators. Sometimes, obviously, the garbage, the pickup, the disposal, things like that, it gets pretty smelly. Break and enters usually happen beside the fire escape, okay? So any kind of B&Es will happen there, all right? Other than that, penthouse, anything on the penthouse, you can have your all your mechanical stuff is on your penthouse, so it gets noisy on the penthouse level. If they didn't waterproof that floor in the boiler room, if there's any kind of leak in the boiler room, so if they don't do an elastomeric paint on that floor, if there's any kind of leaks, it's going to go into that unit below. Okay, so just be cognizant of where you're buying within a building. This is as a property manager, like if you're doing condos or things like that, know where the location of that unit is going to be within the building. Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard that tip before.
Yeah.
That's great.
Number 3. Can you press it?
So in a building,
Oh no.
you have,
Two.
in my buildings, on these low rise, you're gonna have basically just heat, water, electrical. These ones will have your elevators. You're gonna have your fan coils or your makeup air units. Your makeup air units is MUA.
What is it? Don't go.
Your makeup air units are pressure and ventilation for the hallways. So what this means is that you have a high pressure in the hallways and a low pressure inside the units. This keeps the fire inside a unit, in that unit, and any kind of smells. So when people are cooking, you're not going to smell the person next door what they're having for dinner. So you have this. It's called a makeup air unit. So it's another thing that you have to take care of it. So makeup air units, you have a chiller, which essentially is your air conditioning unit. So here's in a hallway, you'll see this. This is called a makeup air unit. This blows in air, fresh air from the outside in, and it creates a positive pressure here and a negative pressure inside the unit. So now you don't get the smells coming in. So older apartments don't have this, newer ones will. Okay. What this means is just more cost, right, for carrying a building. So if you're buying a new build, that's what you're looking, expect that. Generators and all, you'll have that. A generator would be, you have to take care of. You have to fill up the, you have like oil or gas that's being delivered on a regular basis. Here's a model suite that we're selling.
This is beautiful.
And again, we didn't pay for this. We don't pay for the staging. We got a local company, furniture company, to stage it for us at no cost. And now they're advertising for free now. They don't have to put things out. There's going to be a lot of people going in and out. So as an investor, slash builders, they're going to get it decorated, with furniture and all, quite inexpensively, and you're helping that local furniture company as well. So think outside the box, know how to advertise, know how to market, know how to stage or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But within a condo, so you can have a generator, you can have elevators, you can have a makeup air unit. If you have an underground garage, you can have fans moving. Like builders are not going to be putting a CO detector in there. So your fan by code needs to run, because you can't have a car idle, right, and create CO. Then somebody can potentially die, right? So you have a CO detector. So now you don't have to have those fans running. Sometimes you go in the garage and you can hear that it's buzzing and it's freezing, because they have to draw in cold air or fresh air, just in case that there's a car idling and creating that CO in there. So what you do is that you just put a CO detector in there, and now this fan is only running when it's needed, right? So that's saving on money as well. Those are the things that, as a property manager, as a condo, you should know this, and tell your property managers that, hey, get a CO detector in there. You're going to drop that operating cost significantly. That's probably a 6-month or even 8-month payback period, right? So just know what you're getting into. Buildings are going to be more expensive. Newer built buildings, this is a 36 unit, but if you're buying something like this just to rent it out, know that it's going to be very, very expensive. Yeah, these are apples they can't eat, right? So, staging it, right?
Great.
Yeah, it looks good. So doing this and making sure that it shows really, really well. We're flipping this, we're selling it, and it smells good, it's clean, and potential tenants, prospects, can see themselves living here. We don't normally flip. Again, we don't normally flip, but when we do flip, you have to know what you're doing, right? So,
We should go now.
yeah, we should get.
Papa.